Welcome back to Clark's Ring Rants. Let's get straight into today's video. Well, I think it has to be said that must go down as one of the worst predictions in history, as Ryan Garcia dominates, drops, beats up, and shuts out Mario Barrios to win a 12-round unanimous decision to become the WBC Welterweight World Champion. Let's talk about it. So, earlier this week, I made a prediction video and I predicted that Mario Barrios would upset Ryan Garcia, that he would win a 12-round decision. I felt, just going off Ryan Garcia's performance against Rolly Romero, I was just struggling to see past that and how poor he'd looked in some of his other recent fights, but particularly the Rolly Romero fight, it was just so flat. He couldn't get going, the speed wasn't there, the left hook wasn't there, the power wasn't there. And based off that, moving up in weight to fight a bigger guy, well, he was already at welterweight, but up at welterweight anyway, fighting a much bigger guy in Barrios, I just didn't see a way that he was going to be able to win this fight. I thought he might be a bit predictable, a bit of a one-trick pony, and Mario Barrios will be able to use his size, his strength, he'd be able to impose himself. Yes, Mario Barrios isn't the best in the world, but it was even worse than I thought in this fight, and Ryan Garcia ultimately made easy work of him. He battered him, he beat him up. The writing was on the wall from the first 10 seconds of the fight. He came out, he flew across the ring. I think Mario Barrios in camp, he'd just been training to block the left hook. And Ryan Garcia is not much of a right-hand puncher. He's predominantly jab, hook, hook off the jab, counter, jab, hook, hook, that sort of thing. You don't really see him throw many right hands, but he was swinging big right hands in from the first minute in this fight. And he hit him with a 1-2, and then he sort of hit Barrios with like a clubbing right hand round the side of the guard. Down went Barrios. That must have been 10 seconds into the fight, if that. That set the tone, and he just beat Mario Barrios up from there. He battered him. I think if it wasn't for Barrios' natural size and his toughness, he would have probably got stopped in there. Like I say, I don't know what came over me in my prediction video. Maybe I looked too much into the Rolly Romero fight, but I thought Barrios might have a chance. I did mention, yes, he did draw with Pacquiao. Yes, he did draw with Abel Ramos, but I don't know, just Ryan Garcia is flattered to deceive in recent years, but there was levels in there tonight. Barrios looked awful, even worse than I thought he would do. He just had no plan B. To be honest, he didn't even have a plan A. I don't know what he was trying to do in there. He was just walking in with the earmuffs. He was getting tagged to death. He couldn't seem to make any adjustments to block that clubbing right hand from Ryan. He was just waiting for the left hook. Right hand by the side of his temple for the full fight. Just nothing. Didn't really offer anything. Can't even remember him having any success in that fight. I didn't give him a round. Honestly, I cannot believe I picked him. That is such an awful pick. And if anyone wants to batter me in the comments for that, fair game. A really, really bad pick. But anyway, Garcia does it. He finally becomes a world champion after what seems like an age. He's the last of the quote-unquote four kings, if you want to call him that, of his generation, to pick up a world title. But he finally has one now, up at welterweight, and he did it in really, really emphatic style. He looked electric, he looked fast, he looked menacing, he looked powerful. It's the best I've ever seen Ryan Garcia look. But we do have to take into consideration Barrios is probably one of the weakest, or was one of the weakest champions in boxing. Maybe retrospectively it was a bit of a cherry pick, but hey, listen, I picked Barrios to win. I don't think I'm in a position to say that. He was a world champion. He went up, he's moved up in weight, and he's beat him. And now Ryan Garcia has a bargaining chip when it comes to fighting other big fighters. Now, after the fight, he called out Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson said he'd be up for that fight. He thinks Ryan Garcia is a bit one-dimensional, and he'd give him problems. He'd present him with a look that Ryan Garcia has not seen before. I think that's an interesting fight. Conor Benn was there ringside. I'm going to do a video on him because he's just moved over to Zuffa Boxing, and we need to talk about that. I thought he might have got in the ring. I thought he might have gave it the big un. He might have piped up after the fight, but he stayed sat down, and it'll be interesting to see. But we know he's been angling for that fight as well. But the fight I'd really like to see him in next is the Devin Haney rematch. I think it makes perfect sense next. So they had the first fight in 2024, absolutely marred in controversy. Ryan Garcia battered, dropped, and ultimately beat Devin Haney on a 12-round decision, only for it days later to be revealed that he'd failed a drugs test. Subsequently, it was turned to a no contest. He faced a ban, he came back against Rolly, blah, blah, blah. But now, they're both up at welterweight, they've both got a version of a world title. What better time than now to make the rematch? There's bad blood there, there's needle, They both don't like each other, and they can settle the score once and for all. Devin Haney might have some scars there from what happened in that fight. He was embarrassed, really, in there against Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is going to think he's got a point to prove. It's an interesting fight. I don't see why it can't happen next. I like the Shakur Stevenson fight, but nah, it's not a real priority. And Shakur Stevenson, if he's going to fight Ryan Garcia, come up to 147. We don't need to do it at a catch weight. Look, Crawford, he went all the way up to super middleweight. He jumped up 2 divisions to fight Terence Crawford. No rehydration clause, no nothing. He dared to be great, he won, and he got all the plaudits. If you drag Ryan Garcia down to 144, you're not going to get all the credit for beating him. Just go up, dare to be great. If you win, you win. I think you will win. Just don't do this rehydration clause because you're sort of pricing yourself out of the fight a little bit. Either go up to welterweight or stay at 140. One interesting thing that Shakur Stevenson did mention is whether VADA testing was in place for this fight, because the difference between this to the Rolly Romero fight is night and day. This looked more like the Ryan Garcia we saw take on Devin Haney. Vicious, aggressive, spiteful, electric, fast, hitting him with hard shots, combinations and flurries. I don't know. It's a fair question to ask given Ryan Garcia's history. But ultimately, he is now the WBC World Champion after battering Mario Barrios to snatch that belt away from him. But what do you think of his performance? Are you suspicious of it? Are you not? Do you think it was just a great performance? Or do you just not think Barrios was that good to begin with? It was a bit of a rubbish champion and it was like taking a candidate from a baby for Ryan Garcia. Anyway, he moves on now. The world is his oyster. I'm sure there's going to be loads of fighters calling him out in the upcoming days. What do you think he should do? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.